Hi everybody, Faraaz here. I know most of you know me from either my Souls runs or my God of War content, but today I wanted to tell you about the most recent run I completed a couple days ago. Hollow Knight, Pantheon of the Hallownest, otherwise known as Pantheon 5. I'll call it P5 or Pantheon 5 from now on. I did that hitless. So if you've watched Hollow Knight content before or you're interested in Hollow Knight content, I don't need to say very much else. If you are here from some of my Soul stuff, or my God of War stuff, or my Breath of the Wild stuff, or just the other challenges I've done, I want to preface this by saying this is one of the hardest challenges I've ever completed. Harder than the majority of my runs by far. It might be top 3 hardest. I'm not sure. Might even be the hardest. Who knows? They're hard to compare. But if that's the case, that you're new to Hollow Knight, then that's probably why you're here. So I'll give you guys a brief overview before we get right into the run. If you don't know the game's like $15. For $15, you get the base game plus all 4 DLCs. There's a super healthy and super skilled challenge run / speedrunning community. They are very highly skilled players. There's also a really, really cool modding community. I see a lot of Hollow Knight mods, and they're a lot of fun to play as well as a lot of fun to watch. Lastly, there's a very dedicated and caring fan base. And this is denoted by the very large amount of memorabilia, merchandise, lore videos, all things that are in addition to what the devs released for the game. Team Cherry consists of about 3 members. I think 3 members plus a music guy, and the fact that they made this amazing game with only 3 people and a music guy is ridiculous. This is a very robust platforming Metroidvania. For the run itself, it takes place in the 4th and final DLC of Hollow Knight, called Godmaster. There are a total of 42 bosses in this run, 7 of which can be found only in the Pantheons. To put this into perspective, there are 25 bosses in the full run, all content, DS3 no-hit run. To add further perspective, this is why it gets super difficult. Like, this is where people don't understand why this is so much more difficult in my mind than a lot of the runs that have been done. Not only do you need to manage resources, you need to manage your iframes and your position. Generally in a Souls game, if I see an attack, I'll dodge it. And of course I need to manage my position a little bit, but in the 3D scape, it's not the biggest deal. I will generally be okay. I won't get punished for a bad position in the majority of the fights I'm in. In Hollow Knight, if I see an attack, I need to manage my dash, my Shade Cloak, which is invincibility frames when I dash. You get them periodically, you don't get them every dash. And what position I will be in when I end my dash, or I end my jump, or I end my pogo, or whatever. And since it's in 2D, positioning and micro adjustments are very, very, very important. I find it a lot more difficult, a lot more fast-paced than a lot of the things I've done. I'm very happy I got this run. This took about 2 months to do. I put a lot of attempts in. I think I was on attempt 900 and something when I got this, and I was absolutely ecstatic when I did finally get it. So that was good. So this is the commentary video for my recent hitless run, Pantheon 5, Pantheon of the Hallownest for Hollow Knight, without taking a single hit. For those who don't know what Pantheon 5 is, it's all... Wow, you can't see shit here, huh? It's all 40... I think 40... 38 something like that. It's all the bosses in the game in a row, plus some upgraded bosses like Pure Vessel and Absolute Radiance, as well as some new bosses that are unique to the God Home DLC of Hollow Knight, like Oro and Mato and Paintmaster Shio. And yeah, this is it. So this run took me about 2 months to do, and I wanted to record commentary for it because I know that a lot of people know me from Souls runs and different challenge runs and things like that. And while this is a really good run and I like it a lot, it's not as well known compared to the Souls runs, or maybe the Breath of the Wild run I did, or the God of War. The God of War stuff was big. But I will say that this is probably, if not certainly, amongst the top 3 hardest runs I've done. It's about 35 minutes in length, 36, 37, around there. Depends how fast you are. So it's not too long, but it's very, very, very intensive. And so yeah, I want to make that clear. Out of all the content I've done, all the Souls content, Dark Souls 3, all bosses, all content, Bloodborne, all content, DS2, DS1, Breath of the Wild, God of War. What else have I done? I've done a bunch of stuff. This is probably one of the most difficult. I'm not sure if it's the most difficult, but it's one of them. Yeah, so with that out of the way, I'll tell you a little bit about the run. The first 10 splits or so, actually probably the first 15, 16 splits are reset city. So if you're thinking about High Wall of Lothric in DS3, where it's just constant resets, and then going back and doing the same 10, 15, 20 minutes over and over and over again, and it's mind-numbing and terrible. That's probably the first 20 splits of Hollow Knight. The bosses you're seeing now are the earlier bosses. They're not super difficult. They're not very, very hard, but you can pretty easily get hit on them. So if you're just doing them as a one-time thing, you're probably never going to get hit, but doing them over and over and over again, there's a lot of frustrating mechanics they have. Like Dung Defender, I actually really like this boss, but he will scream like this. He just yells out and goes into his phase 2. You can skip that if you're good with your nail hits, but he does that and then you're just frozen for about 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and that kind of throws off the rhythm that you're going with. It'll screw up your pace, which then makes you more likely to get hit or more frustrated or more anxious. Like, that's one thing that was interesting in this run, was you have to really manage your anxiety and your nervous energy. This is another boss that I like, but I hate. And it's like, you can see what he'll do is he'll teleport and then he will walk backwards. So you can't really get super efficient damage off all the time. Oh, I just noticed my activate Windows sign on the screen. Maybe I should put my camera there. This is another boss. Again, this is the 9th boss, Brooding Moloch. It's also very frustrating to fight him because it's like asynchronous. The rhythm of the fight is weird. So you can get a really quick fight or you can get a really slow fight. That was a quick fight depending on what he does. Sometimes he just sits there and swipes at you and you have to continuously back up and go back in and back up and go back in. And then we get to the first boss, the boss of the first Pantheon, basically. So this is Pantheon 5. This is the boss of the first Pantheon. And Pantheon 5 is all 4 Pantheons in a row, and then a final boss, Absolute Radiance. So a total of 42. This boss I've fought a lot, and he's really, really, really fun to fight. It's like, if you know exactly how they move, it's almost like a dance. It's cool. It feels good. It feels rhythmic. And then you gotta watch both of them at the same time. So right there, I noticed that he was doing one of the brothers was doing a charge attack. So I immediately de-darked, and when you get it, it feels good to get it. Another thing about the Hollow Knight runs is you can see, like, you're constantly on your toes. Like, you constantly are making decisions. You're constantly forced to pay attention, I would say. Whereas in a lot of other runs, there's downtime. There's running sections in DS3. There's running sections in DS2. In Breath of the Wild, there's climbing sections. Even in God of War, there's like cutscenes to kind of give your mind a rest. With Hollow Knight, it's just 30 or so minutes of straight focus, basically. There might be a boss here or there that will give you some rest, like Fluke Marm, but they're very rare. And at the same time, you can still get hit on these bosses. And so we're in Pantheon 2 now. This boss right here is annoying, Crystal Guardian. He doesn't seem like he's not too hard, but he can do things which will catch you in a way where, like, it'll like roll catch you. You'll dash or you'll jump, and then he'll attack, and you just have to be really, really quick with your D-Darks. Otherwise, if a laser appears on you, you can get hit. Soul Master's not really any problem. Again, it's the earlier splits are about managing your anxiety and frustration and your boredom or impatience, your antsiness, because this is a fairly slow and easy boss. It's very telegraphed, but it's very easy to get onto a mode of autopilot or into a mode of autopilot. And then from there, you make one small mistake. And then it took, I think 6 minutes to get here or something like that. But then you lose that 6 minutes and then you have to go fight Vengefly King again. And then you do that 3 or 4 times. That starts to pile up. You start to get a little bit more exhausted. Here, that strategy there, that's just a safer strat. I think you can attack him 3 times, the speedrunner method. I never learned it because I was like, oh, well, you know, it's no big deal. I can get through that fast. I'd rather spend time learning the run than that one fight. Oblobles is this boss. This is a heavy reset boss. What you generally want to do is you want to keep them on one side of the arena and hit them both with your Shade Souls. Double hits if you can get them. And you want to try and... You want to get one down as fast as you can, but you also don't want to neglect the other one in terms of damage. Because if you neglect the other one, then this phase here is longer. And of course, it's the same motion over and over again. You're trying to not get cornered. So every time he switches sides of the arena, you want to switch as well. If you get cornered, this fight becomes a lot scarier. I almost got hit there, you see. But a combination of dash slashes and Shade Souls will take him out. Okay, the second of the heavy reset fights, Sisters of Battle. Now this is one of my favorite fights in the game. And I'm starting to commentate these more because now the fights are going to get more interesting. Less straightforward and more cool. So it starts with one sister fighting, and then after you beat that one, then all 3 are going to attack you. You're going to see a combination of D-Darks here, some Shrieks, and then just some normal attacks. What you're watching for is horizontal and vertical patterns. And you have to make sure, like you'll see I D-Dark and I attack up. You have to make sure you don't jump while that attack's going, otherwise the jump will be eaten. When they appear on the sides of the arena, if I'm fast enough, like if I'm on the right side or the left side, like here I wasn't, then I will throw a Shriek out because I'm expecting a drop from above. There are some really cool segments in this fight, some really cool like cinematic moments. This one wasn't so much. The more they appear on the sides, the less cinematic it is. But there can be long chains of attacks. You can also just kind of die here from RNG sometimes as well. Sometimes the 2 sisters will appear on either side of the arena, and if you're just close enough, they'll just appear on you, which of course results in a hit, and generally you can't do anything about that. Okay, straight into Marmo now. Marmo is quick but complicated. So I jump dashed in 2 Shrieks and a D-Dark, and then you'll see I did 1 slash. From there, if Marmo re-teleports, I immediately D-Dark. If Marmo doesn't teleport, I try and jump and hit it like a volleyball. And through that, you're able to, I would say, mitigate the RNG that Marmo brings. Fluke Marmo, this is a very easy boss. Just Cyclone Slash down, generate some soul. 1 Shriek, same thing, Cyclone Slash down, generate some soul, another Shriek, no problem. Okay, so now we're out of Resetville, and we're on Broken Vessel. Normally you'd see people fight this guy a lot faster. I fight him a lot slower. He's a really annoying boss to fight. He just jumps around a lot, and it doesn't seem like it, but the horns on his head have a pretty big hitbox, so you can dash into him or run into him pretty easily. And after just going through Marmo, Sisters, and Oblobles, I don't want to lose a run here. Okay, next one is Galleon. 2 Shrieks once the scythe starts spinning, and then you're going to rely on RNG. Here I get really good RNG because he hovers just above my nail length, or right at the top of my nail length, so you can just walk and dash slash. Sometimes he'll move into you, which sucks, and sometimes he'll just sit in a corner. You don't want to be in a corner on that fight because the spinning scythe can do some things. Paintmaster Shio. Okay, this fight is a lot more complicated than it seems. A lot more complicated than it seems. Mainly because you have to manage position. So you kind of want to hold center stage all the time because of that attack. So see how he jumped there and through the red paint down. If you're in the corner, he might jump on you after that or do something weird. After every... Oh, he's dead. After every paint slam, I do a D-dive just so I don't have to deal with the falling paint from the ceiling. And then occasionally I will throw a Shade Soul out and get a double hit on his jump back. Okay, Hive Knight. We're going fast now. So Hive Knight, this boss is a little bit difficult in terms of how he can hit you. Generally, it's not too bad, but this attack I really don't like. Adds a little bit of randomness to things. And then I just try and keep him away. Usually you'll get a stagger there, which is nice. But if you don't, I recommend Shade Souling or D-Darking, because you have to deal with a bunch of bees on the screen while Hive Knight is attacking. Elder Who is annoying. This is a pretty straightforward fight. You'll notice when he does his big pancake attack that goes from outside in right here, that I wait in the middle and then I dash out. That's to eat up my Shade Cloak so that I can immediately dash to him after without wasting my Shade Cloak, because then after he attacks, if I don't have Shade Cloak, I might not be able to dash through the pancake slams. Collector. So on all bindings, Collector was really, really, really hard. Tough. You have to be methodical. On hitless, Collector's not bad at all. You're just trying to get as many hits on him as possible. Whenever a jar drops. Oh, also, if you stagger him, you get 2 shrieks and a little bit of soul. I dream nail him there for soul. Whenever a jar drops, you just kill it as fast as you can, like here. If you can do that, great. If you don't manage to do that, then you can just back up and fire a Shade Soul or a D-Dark to clear them all out for safety. Pretty straightforward fight. The only thing that people don't know is if you do Dream Nail Collector, you get some soul. I want more soul from this. God Tamer in the past has been a little bit difficult for me, not because it's a hard fight, it's just a little bit janky at times. But generally what you want to do is you want to keep them as separate as possible. So right there, the God Tamer was right on top of her little fucking fat slug thing, fat beetle rolly thing. That's not good, because you want to pogo this fight mainly. And so if she's right under him and you're pogoing, she can jump into you and just do some contact damage and you'll lose it. Also, God Tamer moves a little bit sporadically, so you have to pay attention to your pogos. If you miss a pogo, you'll fall. Okay, Grim. This is cool. So this is a strat. You run in Dream Nail him, Shriek. Then you can get, if you time it well, 2 shrieks every single time that Grim does the pufferfish, and then a dash slash. So this takes timing and understanding of the fight a little bit, and anybody can do it. You just have to practice it. But I'm going for 2 shrieks and a dash slash every pufferfish. I want to hit the bat there about 4 or 5 times. And if I do this properly, Grim should never get an attack other than the pufferfish. And this is really nice because the moveset for Grim and Nightmare King Grim are slightly different. And you'll see on the splits, I have Troop Master Grim and I say jump. That's because on his little 3 fireball attack where he fires 3 fireballs forward, you want to jump immediately. Whereas on Nightmare King Grim, you don't want to jump immediately. You want to jump after the first one passes. And it confuses your muscle memory, especially when you're very focused and dialed in. Okay. That's the first 25 bosses. We have 17 to go. This is when, like, this is mid game, basically. And these next 3 or 4 bosses, they aren't too difficult, but they have a higher chance of hitting you. So Watcher Knights, obviously, you know, there's 5 or 6 knights that just do the same thing. I can't remember what it is right now. And they're very easy to deal with individually, but the RNG comes from when they're attacking you simultaneously. I'm playing this on current patch, so Watcher Knights here have all sorts of different things they can do. Like they can do weird rollbacks and weird bounce attacks, and it can, you know, when you need to make like split-second decisions, it can throw you off. So you'll see here, I generally don't want 2 of them on the screen at once. If I can just get 1 down, then I can get them into a pattern like this where I can just heavily deplete their health. Whenever they roll past you like that horizontally, it's really good to throw a Shade Soul. You'll get a double hit. And then whenever they're on screen both at once, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't trust them, and you can't really react to some of their attacks because the animations look very, very similar. So you just throw a D-Dark here every now and then. Give yourself some iframes. Make sure you're safe. It's good. Okay, so next is Umu. Umu sucks. Like, this looks really easy, but it's a nightmare. It's an awkward fight. You're going to run in and do 2 Dream Nails. He can do 3 attacks here. He can summon Jellyfish, so he summoned Jellyfish there. He can do this homing like thing that follows you, which is like not too bad to deal with, or he can just do random ones across the screen. Okay, so here I was very patient. I was like, I'm not going to try and get that to work out. I'm not going to try and put myself at risk, and then I just waited for another attack. Luckily, he gave me more Jellyfish, so I don't really have to dodge anything. And then I just circled around, fired 1 Jellyfish, 3 nail hits, and 2 Shade Souls with double hits will kill him. Wing Nos, like I said, again, not a difficult fight, but you can get hit. If you're out of position on this fight, it's killed me before. Immediate dash in and a Shriek. And then here you want to prioritize not the little ghosts, but dodging the next attack. I've made the mistake of prioritizing the ghost being out of position for the next attack and getting hit many times. So even there, like I was like, hesitant to be up in the air and jump. The pattern for, also D-Dark this. You don't want to get hit. There's no reason to. Might as well D-Dark. So every time he swoops down, you're going to do a hit, a dash, and then another nail hit. And then if you time it right, you can do a double hit with Shade Soul, which is pretty cool. Kills him or her fast. I don't know what it is. Okay, Nail Master Sly. Slow fight, easy fight, but you can get hit. And this is a very easy fight to get impatient on. Very easy fight to get impatient on. I also want to save my soul here just for Hornet II. That's why I'm not spending too much. There are a lot faster strats to do this, but they're a lot riskier in my opinion. And I don't like fighting Sly as it is. So all I do is just, wait for him to attack, get on the other side of him, get around him, make sure I'm close enough so that he triggers his full attack, and then just give him a quick slash and move away. Dash away if he does that. That has a massive hitbox, by the way. It doesn't seem like it, but it does. This is cool. I learned this from Monstaller. But what you can do is you can stand right by that candle, move to the left, and then Shriek, get a ton of damage off without any risk. I've never been hit doing that. And then it's just the same thing, waiting, dashing out of the way, and then great slashing him. Here I'm going to Dream Nail him a bunch just to get soul back for Hornet II. Hornet II is the last boss of this section. So Hornet II is, you got to be careful. Generally, I'm playing this very patient. Very, very patient in that I'm watching her, and whatever she does, I will react to. I'm never going to try and preemptively attack her. I'm trying to keep enough distance so I'm not caught off guard, but not too much where she has time to do things. Generally, if you're starting off, you want to hit Hornet II once every time she attacks you. And you don't want to dash preemptively because she can catch you with a mixed up attack. It happens quite often. It's very common. So that was that. We didn't even see her spike phase, which is great. I used my Shade Souls pretty good there to get a bunch of damage off. But if she does pull out the spikes, then you just want to Shade Soul them away. You want to be quick about it too. Enraged Guardian has hit me quite a few times. He's a faster version and more powerful version of Crystal Guardian. But every time he does his little rage streak, you just D-Dark and try and avoid him as best you can. Lost Kin is also a very, very difficult fight. Doesn't seem difficult, but he's very fast and there's a lot going on the screen. So what I'm trying to do here is get him to stagger. Okay, being very careful, being very patient. I don't want to preemptively put myself in a bad position. And then I'm going to jump on him, Pogo, and then do a D-Dark. And then from there, it should be about 4 hits for every stagger. So that's 2, 3, 4, right? 2 from the Shade Soul, 2 nails. And this is kind of how you keep them in check. You want double hits with the Shade Souls, and you want to hit them twice with the nails. Sometimes it takes 1, depending on a bunch of things, I guess. Okay, that was done. That is a lot harder than it looks. Next is No Eyes, another fight that is a lot harder than it looks. I'm pretty sure I almost got hit here. Yeah, right there. So that was actually that was very sketchy what I just did. I meant to drop down and I didn't. My character just kind of sat there, so I had to very quickly, you know, dodge out of the way. The shade cloak helped me with some iframes, and then I threaded the needle between a spike and one of these little ghosty things. That was nerve-wracking. I didn't check my heart rate, but I'm sure it went up. By the way, if you don't know what it is for whatever reason, at the bottom of the screen is the heart rate monitor. But straightforward fight, more ghosts on the screen as the fight progresses. Just dodge them and then an occasional dash slash. Traitor Lord is one of the easier fights. Very straightforward. You'll notice I'm staying really far away. I've lost a few runs to Traitor Lord before where I was fighting more aggressively, and I like to fight this boss more aggressively. But what Traitor Lord can do is before, I believe it's a she, before she attacks, she can just walk forward into you, and it's not an attack or anything. I don't think she really does it unless she's in the corner, but it's lost me runs. So I just try and fight this at max range, at a distance. And it's pretty straightforward. White Defender, aka Ben Rice. This boss is a lot of fun. It can be frustrating though. So what I'm looking for in White Defender is the volleyball juggle, right? In order to do that, I need a certain attack. It's that attack, except for when he throws 2 balls, he throws 3 instead. So he throws 3 balls like that, and then he does this. He gives you the slow bounce. If you get the fast bounce, you can't juggle. But basically, this allows me to skip the rest of the fight as long as I can maintain this juggle. So I skip the phase 2 transition, I skip all the obakas, I skip all of that stuff, and it makes this fight a lot easier. But of course, you have to know how to juggle. There's a few times, like when I was playing on PS5, there was some input delay or VSync issues. So sometimes this strat can backfire, but on PC, it hasn't backfired. Traitor Lord is male. Is okay, sorry. Traitor Lord was male. Don't cancel me, GDQ, for the... Never mind. Now we're on the hard part of the run. So this is the last stretch. 5 bosses and then 2 bosses. You got Soul Tyrant. And Soul Tyrant isn't too difficult, but it's very easy to get hit in this fight. If you dash accidentally or unexpectedly, you could dash into Soul Tyrant. You can jump a little bit too early. This is a little bit tricky. If your positioning's not good, one of those glowing things will hit you, glowing balls. Traitor Lord's a guy too. Or not, Soul Tyrant's a guy too. This, like, it's really cool. Like, when you do it, it's fun. It's a slow fight though. Like, it can take a while depending on RNG. If you get like lots of good shrieks off when he staggers, it's good. But if you don't, then the fight takes very long. We got another one here. I almost took some contact damage. Over here, I dash over to the black shadow there. I jump, dash, and then from here, I'm going to jump, nail swipe up, and then dash. Now, this is a tricky part as well, because Soul Tyrant can be a little bit wonky, and when he reappears, you can actually dash into him if he reappears too close. So you got to be careful. Okay, now everybody's favorite boss, Markoth. Markoth isn't actually that hard. Everybody, like, in comparison to this run, like, he is a hard boss generally, but he's not too difficult. You just have to learn a specific way of fighting him. So what I'm doing in this fight is I am trying to get 7 nail hits. Great nail slashes. That's 5. I think I miscounted while I was doing this. You want 6, that's 6. You want 7. And so while I'm doing this, I'm staying as far away as I can from him during his movement phase, right? And I'm just passively dodging these things. Yeah. So I did 8 there, which was an accident. I miscounted. You want 7 to push him on the cusp of phase 2. So here, I don't want this. I don't want this phase 2 because a lot of these things can roll catch you or dash catch you if you aren't good with them. But again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just staying as far away as I can. And then I'm being very careful of this shield here. And all I'm going to do is fire all the Shade Souls I saved to kill his second phase. Zote's a fun fight. I actually really like this fight. It's a very hard fight because of how weird he can be, but I like this. My heart rate is up now because this is shaky. This is somewhere I can get hit for sure. I just beat Markoth. What you want to do is you want to just stay a certain distance away from him. And then whenever there's multiple things on the screen, like that attack he just did, you want to de-dark, just so you know what he's going to do. Because he is janky. He can reposition his attacks. He walks. You want to be very careful as a walk. A lot of people will just get hit by his walk. And then you want to de-dark the big drops from the top of the screen. This is easy to avoid, but if you de-dark them, you get a lot of damage off. The only other thing I would say to watch for in Zote is when he does his like spammy nail attack and you're pogoing on top of his head, you want to make sure he isn't in stagger territory, because if you're pogoing him and he staggers, he will stagger into you, causing a hit, which is tough. Yeah, it's tough. Fail Champ is a freebie, so after Zote, this is kind of like relax. My heart rate is still going up, so maybe not relax. Basically, the first phase, the second phase, and the third phase are a little bit different. You want to focus on just avoiding falling rocks, because that's probably what's going to hit you in this fight. Once you get him down the first time, like he can just do a jump or he can do a swipe. You're going to hit him once and then Dream Nail him for soul. And then what I do is I just shriek, hit him 3 times, and then I shriek. And then I hit him, I think 5 more times, and that should push him in the next phase. So this is like a quick kill, kind of. If you don't get the last hit, like if it doesn't stagger him, you can just fire Shade Soul like I did there. Kill him, watch the falling rocks. You know, don't get complacent about those. Fill up your soul, because the next fight is Nightmare King Grim. You'll see I have no jump on the screen. That's just because for one of his attacks I don't want to jump right away. So I just remind myself. Grim is a fairly straightforward fight. It's not necessarily easy because it's long. And at this point in the run, my hands are starting to shake. So I'm trying just to take it slow. What you want to focus on in Grim, for anybody who's new to this fight or having trouble on Grim, is you want to keep center stage as much as possible. Grim becomes difficult when you're on the edge and he's cornered you. Very, very difficult. Like here's not a good position. However, you don't see it in this fight, but if I'm in that position and if he does the dash attack, then I would dash through him instead of away from him. Or if he did the little fire stake attack where he like hornets into you, like a little bee stinger into you. Otherwise, it's straightforward. Here you can Shade Soul if you want, but I'm just playing it safe. I know that I can speed this fight up by maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds, or I can just play it safe, and I'm going to probably do better if I play it safe. We got 3 bosses left in the run, and I'm just trying to focus as much as possible. That's tricky. A lot of time, too, I find that I'm looking for Grim on the screen, and then when the spikes pop up on my character, I don't notice it, and then I move out too late. So I would also recommend in Grim fight, making sure you're keeping an eye on your character. Okay, no rest. At this point in the run, it's interesting because I'm like, I'm listening to Alan Watts right now, and one of the things he's saying is don't get in your own way, basically. There's only you right now in this moment. And so I'm thinking like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go. I'm not going to refocus. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to do this. And I'm not sure if you can see the focus on my face, but Pure Vestal is a straightforward fight. It's one of my favorite fights. It's very fast paced. It tests, I would say, fundamentals, like how fast you are, how reactive you are, responding you are. It's really, really good. Really, really cool. I like this fight a lot. But you do need very quick decision making and very quick reactions. Like here, you have to decide whether to dodge in or dodge out, or walk in or walk out, whether to shriek or not. And it's constant. Like there's no break in this fight. You know, there I move in instead of moving out. He staggers. I decide not to shriek, and then I hit him. Okay, guys, with Pure Vessel dead, I want to end the commentary here just to let you experience the last fight with original audio and my original reaction. So let me know how you like it in the comments below. Otherwise, it's been great, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
Is the great fundamental principle, which is called Wu Wei, not to force. I think that's the best translation. It's often called not doing, not acting, not interfering, but not to force. Seems to me to hit the nail on the head. Like, don't ever force a lock. While you bend the key or break the lock. You jiggle until it revolves. So Wu Wei is always to act in accordance with the pattern of things as they exist. Don't impose on any situation a kind of interference that is not really in accordance with the situation.
Holy shit! Oh, what? Oh, man, we did it! Oh, God! Oh, man! Thank you, Alan Watts. Jesus. Whoo! That's hitless. That's finally hitless. Oh, fuck! Man, I've been at this for so long. Jeez. Oh, fuck. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Hey, we fucking did it. Yeah, we did it. That's been done. That's been done. Jesus. I'm so happy, man. Jeez, I'm so happy. We fucking did it. We fucking did it. We fucking did it. Fuck this game, man. Fuck this game. Oh. I did it! Yeah, Tommy. Oh, man. There we fucking go. There we go. Man. Oh, Jesus.
Islam has what we would call an ecology.
Thank you guys for all the... Wow, you're at level 5 already. I wasn't even watching. Let me thank you for this shit. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for dealing with that shit. Oh, fuck. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Fuck, man. Fucking fuck. Fuck. That was tough. That was hard. And it feels nice to get something like that again. Right? Didn't let it beat us. Didn't let it beat us, man. Did not let it beat us. Alright, everybody. That is Hollow Knight, Pantheon 5 hitless. I hope you enjoyed the run. No memes today for the outro. But if you enjoy this content, aka the challenge runs I do, or the challenge runs I have done, or the speed runs, or anything really about this stuff, it would really help if you give this video a like, a subscribe, and a comment. The YouTube algorithm, really pays attention to that stuff. And this content did take me, like each challenge run I do does take me a while to do and a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And I get usually 1 or 2 videos out of it. So if you enjoyed any of this stuff, like, comment, subscribe. Or you could just come to my Twitch channel. Either way, twitch.tv/FaraazKhan, where you get to see all this stuff live. All the failed attempts, not just the finished product. All right. Okay. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Don't send me dick pics. Okay.